Hello, hello, hello. I wasn't sure if I was live before, but I'm live now. So I want to have a chat. I can't tell if anyone's watching, but I am going to have a chat, okay? I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about today. And initially I said 9 o'clock, but I've been a little bit delayed and in meditation, so I'm here now. Divine might foretold is kind of what this is going to be about today. And so the opening of what I want to have a chat about is about, you know what is correct. You feel it in your heart. You understand that any gains which come from denying your values and compromising yourself creates a greater soul, creates a greater loss from your own soul and a greater loss for us as humanity. There are times when it may seem as though people around us are acting without integrity and obtaining their beliefs from a negative space. And life feels really unfair. And when we limit ourselves to thinking that life is unfair, that limits our own human perspective. And when we sit with our own self, our own value system, our own intuition, our own innate knowing, we know what pathway we need to take. As when we restore action and balancing and back into fairness, because we're in Libra, the month which is Libra, which is justice and which is the scales, cosmically, which is the scales, justice and law. And at the moment, the scales have reached a tipping point. And so this is where we have to trust that there is a higher plan, divine timing and wisdom. But we always must stay true to our innate knowing, our value system, and integrity, and put faith in the divine justice. And divine justice, I've actually written a lot today. Divine justice is the angels. There's three angels that come with divine justice. Hope, Archangel Hope, Faith, and Mercy. And so they are three angels that work together to help the world energy and to help the collective. And as much as it seems right now that no one's here to empower us, help us move forward energetically, they very much are here supporting the outer realms of humanity. But we must align, our own lives and start connecting to our own inner guidance and soul, and to surrender to the never-ending beat of what we know, what sits in here. And so this comes with right now the word courage. There's going to be a lot of information on this because Spirit's been like mega chatty. This comes with courage. And we think courage only has one element to it. There is physical courage, which is about resilience, bringing things back to a balance and greater awareness. There is social courage, which is about us becoming unapologetic about where we stand and creating spaces for us to step into that are safer. There is the word moral courage, which is about doing the right thing, even though you feel as uncomfortable as fuck. It's about doing the right thing, not by yourself, but by humanity. There's emotional courage, which is about feeling attached emotionally to the positive and negative, the guilt, the attachment of what you might lose or not lose or gain or whatever. But there's emotional courage. There's also intellectual courage, which is about unlearning the conditions of what we've been told and become more open to stepping out and having the courage to find your voice. I'm so emotional today. And spiritual courage. Living life purposefully, heart-centered, and stepping into what you know to be true. Right now, the word courage, we are all traveling through one of these, whether it be physical courage, social courage, moral courage, emotional courage, intellectual courage, or spiritual courage. For me, it's spiritual courage. How am I going to live my life with more purpose and becoming more heart-centered and holding more light for the collective now like I've never held it before? I know that there's a lot of people on the live right now, and I can't see if you guys are commenting. So I'm just going to just keep speaking, and if you comment, I'll come back to you. So I have spoken freely in my Zoom links, and I know that a lot of you people have attended my Zooms over the last couple of months. And Melbourne, I just got Melbourne. Yeah, got that. And I don't know how long this Facebook page will still be around. So, but I'm going to find other ways that I can connect with community that is aligned with me ethically and morally, and have the courage to still step out and step through. So, sovereignty. You know, I spoke quite openly about the word sovereignty at the start of the year. I spoke quite openly about sovereignty, the Great Divide, censorship, and our value system. I have been really clear about, and at the time, I don't think anyone had any friggin' concept to really what I was talking about. I think people just checked in and checked out, soaked up the information and checked out. And so I get that. And so maybe it might be a time to start to go back and revisit some of the posts that I've openly spoken about in this page in 6 months ago, a year ago, you know, and start to soak up some of that information, because there is clear guidance about what is happening in those posts. And so sovereignty. Right now, heart sovereignty. Sovereignty is the word sovereignty from a priestess perspective is about standing in power, standing in what you know is true to you at whatever capacity or ever space you are at. And so sovereignty, heart sovereignty, is about you becoming so deeply connected to what you feel is true within the gateway of your heart, which is the gateway of your innate knowing, your soul purpose. And right now, heart sovereignty and protecting our heart space and what we know is true and how we choose to govern ourselves in this new way, in this new vibration, in this collective, is so important for us as a whole. And we have to show compassion and meet people where they're at. And the other thing is, the more deeply you become connected with this, the more deeply you become connected to know who the hell you are and what your purpose is and how you are to lead from a space of courage. And I've spoken so many times on this Facebook page and in so many posts about stepping out and having brave courage. Whatever that is, whether that be moral, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, can't speak, but I know you know what I mean. And so right now, there is I have to speak it, a direct attack on the sovereignty of us as human beings and how we are governed in this place called Aotearoa, Canada, Australia, and America. Those 4 countries. There's a reason to why it's those 4 countries that have been kept back and held in the shade, in the shadows for the time and the purpose of what it is. And so sovereignty is how our Treaty of Waitangi is governed here in Aotearoa. Our Indigenous people, our ancestors, signed on the Treaty of Waitangi on sovereign grounds of the sovereignty of its people. And so, as a whole, when our ancestors move, we will move. And so there will be a rise in the ancestral lineage of not only those that are here walking on this land, but those that have walked before us. Because the Indigenous people, our ancestors, are so deeply more connected to this land than you and I as Pākehā, as in bloody colonialism, will ever be. Will ever, ever, ever be. And so I know this to be true. So I'm in my property here right now in Picton, and Mother Earth, land, gets to pick and choose who lives on her and how that is. And when we bought this property in Picton, we were called as a family spiritually onto the land. So I know that this is my place of where I'm to reside from. And I know that I'm connected to this land like you would never, ever believe. And this is my place. This is my place to govern, to have my sovereignty, to be one and heard as one. And so when our ancestors start to move and our Maori people start to move, we will move. We will move as a sovereign nation. When America starts to move, we will move. And so we will start to see some of this action take place, some of this brave courage and action take place on next week. And I said that the energy of the dates for the light to start shining through the darkness was going to be from the 16th to the 26th of October. Shit, spirits all over me today. The 16th to the 26th of October. And so right now, and I mean this with the greatest love, as we are all being gaslit by the institution and by, gaslit by the institution, and they are causing separation and divide in our community. This is the narrative they want you to believe. They want us to be separated from our Indigenous people. They want us to be separated from our community. They want us to be separated from the unvax and the vax people so they can get their bullshit and their agenda through. And so, you know, I know that there's a lot of people that is being triggered in anger to why our Indigenous people are getting more resources and money for their vaccine rollout. They want us to be triggered. They want us to be. This is a direct attack, not only on their constitution and our constitution, it's a direct attack on the Treaty of Waitangi. They want us to feel separated. They want to start this divide, because when they start to, when things start to roll out as what's going to roll out in the next 4 years, you know, those that watched my Zoom calls back 2 months ago, they want to hand land and water and rights back to the Indigenous people, for there to try and be some justice and balance. And we're in the Libra month, which comes back to justice and law and bringing things back to balance. And so as the consciousness right now in Aotearoa, in Australia and Canada and America is starting to rise, and more people after yesterday's announcement is like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? This is just the start of it, people. This is just the start of this great divide. Wait till they start to realize and start to come for us, come for our children, from our 5 to 12-year-old children, and you realize that you just took some jab to keep your children safe, but they're coming for your children. They're going to dangle a carrot so friggin' big that some people will just step forward. Because this collective, this sovereignty, this narrative, patriarchy, the institution is doing what it's always done. And so when it's our children, we will move, we will rise, we will. And so we're not suffered enough. We haven't suffered enough yet. Like, we have not suffered enough. And humanity, dare I say it, and I'm just going to be so black and white, and this feed is definitely going to go missing. Right now, us as white people, as sitting here privileged, because we are privileged, we've never had to fight for anything in our lives. We haven't. It's all been given to us. We've worked our asses off to get it, but it's been given to us. Our Indigenous people have had to fight to keep land. Same with our Indigenous people have had to fight to get to what things that they want or be heard in this collective in colonialism. If we go back. And so this is about us sitting in our privileged little chairs, because I'm privileged, starting to find our voices, starting to fight about the things that matter in the country we want to live in. And so once our ancestors start rising, and this is everything that my forefathers fought for, freedom. When America starts rising, because America knows how to fight for freedom, we will start rising to a deeper consciousness. And so consciousness is rising. And when consciousness starts to arise, because it does, people start to become more aware and consciously aware about how they're serving their communities and where they're at. Because people think that this narrative is about the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, but this narrative is actually about population control. And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. As the unvaccinated get to stay at home and hang out with themselves. Let's just say it for that. Food will keep rising. Prices will keep rising. Businesses will keep going under because they will have to make a conscious choice who they are serving as customers. And most small businesses in New Zealand will have to split on who they choose to serve. And small businesses cannot do that because the average income, middle class, the squeeze will become tighter. Petrol will go up, inflation will go up, and there'll be no money to spare. So if you think this is about vaccinated people and unvaccinated people, you need to start waking up. Because they want us to be divided. And here's the thing, the system right now has become more abusive, patriarchy, the system, the establishment, the agenda, whatever you want to call it, has become more and more abusive right now than it ever has been before. And it's going to get worse. Because I said in one of my Zoom links, they will make us do their work. They will make us turn on each other, which is what they are doing. And so here's the thing. When the leader of a country turns on their people, A, she's been fucking good at lying. B, she has sold us out. And C, the dragon that feeds her is bigger than her. Just think about that. This is a woman that sat and said 3 years ago, we are all one. We are all one. I will not mandate vaccines. She was compassionate. She came to us with, kindness. She has now just split the team of 5 million into individual teams. A, she's lied to us and she knows exactly what the gender is. B, she sold us out as a nation and a country. And C, the dragon that feeds her people is bigger than her. And so, things are going to look fluffy because every time there's a big shitty announcement that comes, what does she offer? A carrot. Oh, we just got to deal with England. Oh, Microsoft are building a big bloody thing, web thing in Invercargill. Amazon's coming. Like, hello. Big corporations. What happens when big corporations and the, it looks good, but it takes out the middleman, takes out middle class. And so I'm actually not going to go down that narrative because everyone will think I'm absolutely a conspiracy theorist. And, people thought last year I was a conspiracy theorist when all this stuff started and I started to say how it was really going to be. And everyone was like, Lily's lost the plot. She's a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any means. I'm so deeply connected to spirit and my guides. And you know what? I pray every day that New Zealand and the world consciously starts to awaken. Because here's the thing, I'll go back to what I know to be true. We need to start building resilient communities. And so when I say resilient communities, as much as there's 600 people in this Facebook page, this community is not resilient because it could be taken away in a minute. We need to start building resilient communities. We need to start planting community patches, connecting to our family, planting veggie gardens become self-sustainable, connecting, bartering, finding our people. Everyone is your people. Whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, everyone is your people. Because humanity, we have just been gaslit like you've never been gaslit before. The censorship that is happening right now is next level. Humanity is being divided. We are being divided, and we have become disillusioned, disconnected to the word human. The human element. And when you become disconnected to the human, the word humanity or the word human, and I said about 8 months ago on a Facebook Live, the word humanity will change like you've never seen the word humanity change. We will actually learn the true meaning of humanity. And I don't think people got what I was saying. That is the time now. So, and I'll go back to something I said on a Zoom call, resilience. How do you build resilience, people? By becoming health, mental health, well-being, connection. Resilient people, your health is one thing. Some people, it is taking the vaccine, and I'm completely respectful of that, and I lovingly understand people's positions. It's also eating healthy. It's also being conscious about what you're putting in your body. It's also taking supplements. It's also being outdoors and doing things that will help you mentally. It's also finding tools in your toolbox, whatever that looks like, to clear away the anxiety, to clear away the gaslighting. It's also about getting off fucking social media and getting away from the TV and actually detoxing from the fear-based narrative that you're being fed. How do you build resilient communities? You build resilient communities by becoming connected, which is everything they don't want us to be. Oh, so by becoming connected, this community is not resilient. Facebook is not resilient because this could go any minute. But it's, and I'm coming up with a backup plan about that in the next couple of weeks. Like, I've got a backup plan. So building resilient communities, it's about bartering. It's about starting a veggie garden with family. It's about sharing assets. It's about sharing resources. It's about finding your people at a different capacity. It's about becoming sustainable. Resilient country. Well, I know that there's about 600 people in this group, and everyone will have a different condentation about this, because the divide is here. So, you know, where we are now is not going to be where we're going to be in 6 months' time. By March next year, where we are now sitting is not going to be where we are in 6 months' time. I'll say it again. And when you start to I have to say it, have a direct attack on your citizens of the world, you have to start asking questions. And so, as a country, not that anyone will listen to this, it's about you having the courage as an individual to find your voice, to find what it is that you stand for and how you want to live and what you want to leave behind for your children, for your whakapapa. It's about us becoming more connected to the land that we walk on and connected to what we know to be true in our hearts. And from there, the rise will come. And it's about starting to say no to the things that fucking matter. It's starting to disconnect from the gaslighting. It's about building a sustainable country that has a sustainable health system, that says no to the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff, that says that we are okay about supporting a fellow New Zealand business and not buying the shit from China. It's about creating sustainable income for us as citizens of New Zealand, citizens of Canada, citizens of America. It's about saying no to the imported labour that is about to enter our shores. And I'm really strong on that. Because we have people here, when a government, an institution, an ideal, a fucking system starts to attack its people, like its people, are you really okay about that? Like, really? Because the system all of a sudden is only in service of a minority that wants to believe that they're safe or they're right. This is dominant culture. No one is right here. And so I wrote a post saying yesterday, I don't know if I can no longer be in the system. And I think Facebook's the system. I think Facebook's the system. I think listening to the news is part of the system. I think like all of that stuff is part of the system that contributes to the fear, that contributes to the fucking narrative, that contributes to the gaslighting, that contributes to the separation. I don't know if I can be in the system anymore. I don't know if I want to be in the system anymore that doesn't treat people as equal. And so I'm finding ways right now than ever before to get out of the fucking system. And so the system is becoming more and more abusive. And yes, those that are vaccinated think they're on the right side. And that's okay. You're on the right side at the moment in your view. You're on the right side of the system at the moment. But that will become a smaller minority and a smaller minority as people start to awaken and as the next layer comes on and as the next layer comes on and the next layer. Because once you have an institution that consistently gaslights and is bred on fear, there is no stopping the institution. Take China, for instance. And so as much as you think that this is a health response to keep us safe from COVID-19, and there will be another variant introduced, like I keep feeling like England's going to, because they've just finally said no to the vaccine passports and millions of people. England were our mother country, our mother nation to some degrees, who as our sovereign partner was walking on the streets, millions and millions of people of marching. They think that they have it all sorted, those poor citizens of that country, but there will be another variant introduced that will just be as deadly, or just might not be as deadly, but will be gaslit that it's more deadly. And so I know that there's shitloads of people watching this. There's shitloads of people watching this. And so right now, they want us to be divided. That's how they're going to conquer us. Right now, we need to sit in unity like we've never sat in unity before. And so, some journaling questions, because I'm all about journaling questions. I wrote them down this morning. Let me just find them. Because I'm all about, like, us as a whole, people sitting with what they know to be true that lies in their own hearts. I've just got to find them. Where did I write them? It was under the veil. I can't find them. Oh, where did I write them? Here we go. So some soul inquiry journaling questions. Today, make the time to go away and sit with self and just really, sit down and journal into these questions, because there is no right or wrong here, as the institution wants you to think. What is your senses? What is your body? What is your heart been trying to let you know? What has your body been trying to tell you? What isn't congruent with your life right now? What isn't aligned? And what action are you being called to take? What brave courage are you being called to take? And so maybe you want to go back to the start of this video when I say brave courage. It's really physical courage, resilience, balance, and awareness. Social courage, where you can no longer apologize for what you know to be true in your heart. Moral courage, doing the right thing even though it's as uncomfortable as fuck. Emotional courage, feeling all the emotions, whether it be positive and negative, the guilt, the attachment, but standing in your inner sovereignty, your inner power, whatever that may be. Intellectual courage, unlearning from the system and being open to look at things differently. Spiritual courage, living with purpose, living from your heart center and really deeply embodying and aligning to your heart center. And so I'm just going to do a quick meditation because Spirit's telling me we need to do this. So I just want everyone to close their eyes. Just take a deep breath in and out. Just if you're sitting, wherever you're sitting, just uncrossing your legs and putting both feet on the ground. Placing your hands on your heart chakra. And I just want you to imagine all that you know to be true. The land that you reside on. I just want you to feel deeply, deeply connected to the land that you currently stand on. Whether it be your birthplace, whether it be your place of home, just connect deeply to your feet, to your core, feet chakras, to the Divine Mother, the energy of Mother Earth, and just feel grounded in her presence. And I just want you to imagine, as you feel deeply grounded in all that she is, her wisdom, her energy, her longing. Just imagine all that energy just starting to rise within your body, coming up through the soles of your feet, through your legs, and just breathing in and out as you feel that energy with its pure intent. And I just want you to keep rising up into your heart chakra. I just want you to take a deep breath in and out. And I want you to ask yourself, what lies on your heart today? Is it anger? Is it disappointment? Is it fear? What comes forward for you? And I want you to ask, is it yours to own? If it's yours to own, I want you to ask what sits under it. And if it's not yours to own, I want you to send it back to Mother Earth for greater healing. And just imagine it moving down that energy back down to the life force of Mother Earth. If it is yours to own, what sits under it, dear? Is it sadness? Is it scared? Is it fear? And I want you to ask yourself, how are you to work with it? What does it need to show you that you need to work through? Just taking another deep breath in and asking, is it ready to be released? Shinamana kirimina hana na 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 no la la mona kirimina mahana. Ili le wala o shimina kanamana hana o lolo mana kanamana hani mani hini maha. Ili nini na no la na na no na na shi. Ili ki miki mina hana mana. Hana mana hana mani. Just taking another deep breath in and out. And just filling that space with love. Filling that space with internal light, compassion, and giving thanks. Thanks to all that is, and all that you are becoming, and all that you know to be true. Just taking another deep breath in and out, and just filling your body up with the clear energy from below, from Mother Earth. And just feeling that energy. And I call forward into the sacred spaces we hold in unity as one right now. Archangel Hope, Archangel Faith, and Archangel Mercy. And I want them to clear away anything that holds deeply into your body, conditioning beliefs, anything that you no longer need to carry in order for you to complete your soul mission and soul purpose in this lifetime, whatever that may be. Just taking another deep breath in and out as you feel the angelic realms and the energy starting to vibrate through your body as a whole. And just breathe in and out and release. And just imagine the light entering your body through the breath. The breath is one. And out. Just clearing away anything that no longer serves you. Whatever that may be. And knowing that you are deeply held in the angelic realms. In Mother's nature, Divine Mother's energy. For all that she is and all that is yet to still become. You are safe, you are guided, and you are pure. Just taking another deep breath in and just giving thanks to all that is. The animals, the plants, the food that we eat, our health, just giving gratitude and thanks for all of that now. And just breathing in the light and just feeling it fill up every cell of your body and activating every part of who you are and your knowing. And knowing that you can come back to this space whenever you need to. Giving thanks to the angels, to Mother Earth. And when you're ready, in your own time, coming back to full circle. And so here we are. I just want to give much love to all in the community, into whatever space or place in this world that you are right now, and just meet you 100% where you're at. And I want people to know that they're safe, that they're heard, and that they're not alone in whatever capacity or whatever phase or place that they are today. And thank you for allowing me to serve you. Thank you for allowing me to hold light for you. And thank you for me guiding you at this pivotal point in humanity as we move forward. And so shall it be. It is done, it is done, it is done. Much love.